Welcome back to ABC of Storytelling 2.0, where I share tips, tricks, techniques and secrets from my story bag, helping you tell better stories in business, your work and your life. My name is Rituparna Ghosh, and every week on ABC of Storytelling 2.0, I pick up one letter of the alphabet and give you something from my story bag, things that I have discovered about stories and storytelling, things that I have developed over a period of time. ABC of Storytelling 2.0 is a social learning platform where you watch, you tell, you listen, and you learn. Yes, you have to do all of it together so that you can tell and listen and learn from the experience of yourself and others. This week we are on the letter J, and I have 3 J's for you, so let's get started. Let me tell you a little secret about storytellers. Storytellers can get very lazy. You see, if a particular story gets very popular, if it works for a particular audience, we tend to use it over and over and over again. But that's something that we can do as professional storytellers. We can pick a story that has taken us months of research, development, rehearsal, and we can put it into our repertoire of select stories that we tell. That's a luxury that performance storytellers have, but not everybody. If you're using stories in your business, in your enterprise, if you're a trainer, if you're a coach, you may have to work with a set of stories, or you may have to work with a set of stories that are replenished every now and then. You will have to learn to junk stories that you've been using for a lot of time. J for junk. Yes, don't get attached to stories, learn to junk them away, shift them away, move them away from a repertoire. Learn to find new stories to tell. Before you pick a story to tell, consider the audience that you're telling it to. If it's a familiar audience, then they would politely nod in acknowledgement of a story that they have heard many times before. Think of stories that you tell for things like teamwork, commitment, mission, passion, ethics, responsibility, quality, commitment. Do you tell the same stories to your team every now and then? Well, it's time to junk those stories, those comfortable, easy to tell stories that you've been telling for months and years, and it's time to find a new story to tell. Well, if you are very attached to your stories, and if junking stories doesn't come easily to you, or curating new stories doesn't come easily to you, you must come for some of our boot camps where we learn to create stories just from nothing. And in that exercise, you will learn that how it's easy to junk a story that you've been telling for many months and days or years, and how to come up with a new story for a given topic like that. Remember H for heuristic, the shortest mental route taken to make a decision? We know that stories influence people to take action. Now let's learn a simple trick to do exactly that. J for juxtapose, where you use two divergent stories or narratives and you place them one against the other. Let's say suppose you have designed a product or a service that solves a particular customer problem. You could use the power of stories to juxtapose the story of one customer who does not have the solution, which is your product or service, and is therefore struggling to do a particular task. Juxtapose this narrative with the story of the other customer who has your product or service and is therefore able to do their task in a jiffy. Juxtaposing two stories enables the listener, the viewer, to quickly analyze or understand how your product, how your service can be meaningful for them. They place themselves in the two narratives, in the narrative that they are in, where they don't have your product or service, and the other narrative where they see themselves perhaps using your product and service to solve the problem. Even if they don't see themselves in it, they would aspire to be the character in that story. And in that, they come up with their own reasons, their questions, or their inquiry about your product or service. Think about product explainer videos. Think about customer testimonials or product reviews. Each of these can be amplified by juxtaposing the merits of having your product or service vis-a-vis not having them at all. Does the idea of speaking before an audience give you the jitters? Glossophobia, or the fear of public speaking, is real. At Your Story Bag, Story Up is a program that we've designed to enable people to combat the fear of public speaking with the power of storytelling. It is when you tell a story that the focus moves from the audience to the message, to the story. As you narrate a story or an anecdote, your mind is more focused on the narrative that you have to present. And that narrative also grips the listener. If you tell it well, or if you show your vulnerability to your audience, they will also lean in to listen to your story. Storytelling is the one tool that unites the listener and the teller in one experience, because our brains light up the moment we tell and we listen to stories. Yes, I know this is not enough to help you calm all those jitters down, but trust me, if you are a beginner storyteller, somebody who has never told a story in his or her life, or somebody who is used to public speaking but has never really used stories actively or consciously, the idea of telling a story can bring its jitters. So rule number 1, remember to be kind and gentle to yourself. Pick up easy to tell anecdotes, simple anecdotes, short anecdotes from your own life that you can share without feeling the stress of having to tell a story. Pick up stories that you may have heard, that you may have read, and stories that you may have encountered in other people's talks. Go ahead and share those stories so that you are beginning on a very familiar footing. Secondly, find a buddy. Find a buddy who will listen to your stories as you practice them and would give you the feedback that you're looking for. Number 3, train your brain to look into a camera and record yourself. Trust me, it works. Before you go and tell a story, sit in front of a camera, record yourself and play back that video. Play back that video many times over so that you can notice all the little pauses, the little nooks and corners that you can polish up to become a better, more confident storyteller. Next up, train your brain to observe your listeners as you tell a story. Your listeners would give you the cues. Don't be scared of them. Show them your vulnerability, show them your eagerness, show them your willingness, show them your humility. Do not show your pride. Do not show the fact that you know it all, that you are here to charm them and they cannot escape your charm. Trust me, it does not work. Your audience will see through this charade. Instead, show them your vulnerability and show them how authentic you are. Display your emotions, use your expressions well, use the pauses well to show the humane side of you, the person, the storyteller who is there standing absolutely vulnerable in front of the audience, waiting to be welcomed. Trust me, this one always works. If all of this does not work and you still feel the jitters, then write to me at contact@yourstorybag.com and I promise I will help you go through your jitters and help you become a more confident storyteller. That's all we have time for this week on ABC of Storytelling 2.0. Some of you have written to me to tell me how this series is helping you demystify storytelling, and now it's no longer an overwhelming task to be a storyteller. So thank you. Keep those emails coming. I love them. Keep watching, keep telling, keep listening, and that's how you will keep learning about stories and storytelling. Yes, that's how it works. Keep watching the ABCs. Apply them, put them into a story, tell the story, listen to other people tell their stories, and that's how you learn about storytelling, one letter at a time. I'm with you on this journey, and through this year, I am committed to help you become a better, more aware, more powerful storyteller. Until next week, happy storytelling.